Hey, what's going on to you, Cancer? So you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. So a lot of you Cancers are you do have the mentality that you're not going to go out of your way to try to impress others. You Cancer Crabs may be getting to know somebody right now, romantically, and you don't necessarily like the direction of where this is going, where the relationship, where the where getting to know them is going, right? Things seemed very well at first, but then now all of a sudden things seem to be taking a very much so unexpected turn for the worse. The Ace of Pentacles represents you thought this relationship could have been something good for a lot of you Cancers, but now it's like the Ace of Swords and the Eight of Swords is like, now it's like you Cancer Crabs are like, no, it turned out to be a dud, right? To not actually be worth anything, not actually have any kind of real value. It's more so about just this person's got some serious issues. So now it's like you Cancer Crabs realize that the best thing for you to do is to not do the crab thing, right? Which is to protect yourself in a sense of like start telling people what to, because you Cancer Crabs can you have a way about you. But the point that I'm trying to make here is you realize, that you Cancer Crabs, the best thing for you to do is to walk away from them. That you got to figure a way out for you to essentially leave. And the thing about it is that the Queen of Cups now and the Lovers are all about how you want to leave. Like I said, you want to leave. The Queen of Cups and the Lovers is about how because you're not going through this, okay? You're not, you're a different person. Maybe when you Cancer Crabs may have, you would have put up with that when you were younger, right? But not necessarily when it is that you're older and you're more established. You're not putting up with that nonsense then. And the Queen of Cups represents how it is that you may be thinking of, you're thinking of a strategy. You're probably thinking about maybe you should just ghost this person, right? Just don't say anything to them. But then you have the Page of Cups, and then you have the Sun, which represents you can do that if that's what it is that you want to do. But do not talk to this person. Do not invite this person in your home. Excuse me. Don't associate yourself with this person at all if you're going to take the ghost, if you're going to take the kind of vanishing from their life, ghosting them. Don't interact with them. Don't do any of that, because when you do that, that will have them be like, okay, now I can actually get back in good with you again. And from my perspective, if you ask me, it'll make things worse. So, excuse me. The Page of Cups and the Sun card is about, like I said, just that, like, you understanding your own value, and you have changed in the sense that you would have put up with this nonsense when you were younger, but not anymore. So the Queen of Wands represents you are learning how to be more yourself and unapologetic, in the sense that I ain't gonna say the whole reason, but part of the reason why it is that Cancer Crabs exist is for y'all to get more in touch with your darker side. See, a lot of y'all don't seem to understand that getting in touch with your darker side is where essentially the iceberg is. Yeah, you have potential being on the light side and all of that, and striving to be, extroverts and all of this, but your power really comes from the dark side. And what I mean when I say the dark side is paying attention to your own inner world, how you feel, and then coming up with ways to solve those problems that have compounded over time and they have become greater, right? Maybe your friends don't treat you a particular kind of way, but you want them to, treat you differently. You don't want them to You know, when they interact with you, it's always got to be this kind of harsh way of interacting with you. You know, every time you interact with them, it's always coming from the perspective of like, you know, you getting them upset, you know, because your existence. No, a lot of you Cancer crabs' power is from understanding like, why is it that they get like this every time I'm around? Maybe I should leave them by themselves. Maybe I should confront them with this and figure it out. And if they are still upset, then I just got to leave them alone. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, Cancer. Y'all are the most sensitive zodiac sign. And the fact that y'all try to be hard, it literally, it does the opposite. It proves how sensitive you are. Because the most sensitive people try to act like they're the hardest. Because that's what it is. It's an act. What I'm trying to say is that what hardens you is the opposite. It's actually telling, because you got to understand, Cancer crab, like, and I'm speaking to y'all right now. You Cancer crabs have to understand that that is what being hard is, right? Hardened, right? Because that's the true hardening, because you actually have the guts or the intestinal fortitude to approach somebody and be like, you treat me this way, right? Or to maybe not necessarily tell them that all the time. Maybe that's always not necessary, right? But also, maybe you may need to actually go within yourself and figure out why is it that you're going through this type of situation for yourself, right? Without having to confront somebody else. And because of this, the Queen of Wands is saying you got to learn to go from the hip. And what I mean by that is stop trying to be tough and be tough, meaning that stop trying to put on the tough persona. And the way that you actually go about being hardened or tough is to actually feel what's going on in you and to say and to actually communicate, even, not necessarily with another person all the time, but to yourself, and to admit it. That is the true hardening. You're not going to get anywhere trying to muscle your way with a person that's hard-headed. That'll make situations worse, because unfortunately, it becomes a measuring contest with them. How you get yourself out is from you understanding what it is that you need to do and coming up with a plan, and then going according to that plan. The the Nine of Wands and the Five of Pentacles is that, and also this is about, you celebrating the fact that you're not the same way that you used to. And the Five of Pentacles represents, and like I said, Cancer crowds, a lot of people are not going to be able. What have I been saying? I said that when, no matter the zodiac sign, if you've been watching my other zodiac signs, I'm not saying that you have to. I would like for you to. But what I'm saying is, when you get to a point where you are telling yourself more so the truth, and you're developing, you're going to be surprised at how paradoxical a lot of things actually are at the very beginning when you decided to make this conscious choice, and where you are now. Because you will have way more friends back then than you do now. Way more options back then than you do now. You know why? Because the sheer number of options have not necessarily dwindled because you're a terrible choice. It's because you're actually too good. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. Most people do not really like themselves. They be capping. Because they say that they like themselves, or they're confident and they're showy, but then their decisions are actually self-sabotaging. So how can they actually like themselves if they do things all the time, Cancer crabs, to sabotage their own, forget about everybody else's. I want to put an emphasis on this, to sabotage their own progress. They don't, obviously they don't, and it shows. So let's clarify the Five of Pentacles. Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, King of Swords, Ace of Cups. So a lot of you Cancer crabs need to date. Not necessarily immediately after you get out of it with this person, but you can if you want to, if you're still okay, you know, if you're not angry. But you can if you want to, right? Immediately after this person, you stop talking to them, because you probably will ghost them. You probably will stop talking to them or tell them that you don't want to talk to them, and they'll have to accept it, right? Or things could get worse for them. But then the Queen of Cups and the King of Pentacles is that you're going to have to interact with better quality people, because once again, those individuals that would have wasted your time is not going to last very long with you. The King of Swords and the Ace of Cups represents that's not what it is that you're on anymore. You're not really interested in them. So good on you, Cancer crabs. You know, you're making some progress. You're looking, again, the Ace of Cups, you're looking for better quality people. That's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video.